Number 1 Iron Age Booty Daddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Age Nights. That is a very long intro. Very long intro.
Super long.
I know. I need to cut that down. So I keep saying that, and I always forget. Forgetfulness is my enemy, I guess. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be an unbelievably fantastic show this evening. We have with us a legend, and I'm very, very grateful for that. I need to say a special thank you to Richard for being able to get the man, the myth, the legend, our guest on. But before we get to all of those things, it is time to say hello to the chat, and thank you guys so much for being here on Iron Age Nights. There's a couple of new names down in the chat, so I'm very glad that you guys are here. We have over on Rumble, we've got the Brave Bard. We have Best Cleaner. That's a new name. Lieutenant Bob, also known as King Bob. Maji Chan is over there as well over in Rumble. So if Rumble is more your speed instead of YouTube, guys, I always tell you guys to go over and check out Rumble and see how Rumble works for you. It's been growing really, really well over there for this channel, especially. Over here on the YouTube chat, we got Raven Nevermore, Maji Chan, she's double dipping. We've got Horizon Talker, Redoubt Productions, Trippy Soul, what's going on? King Bob, also double dipping. Evely Music, Swift Sword Rush, Jose Hernandez, Eric Wag, Hojo, what's going on, Hojo? How are you? Paladin Dragoon Rider, 10 Cage, the Ultimate Kahuna. We have Geek Avenger. Fantastic. That's the new. I don't recognize that name. If you've been here before, tell me, and obviously shame me for not remembering you. JVP Music is down in the chat as well. JVP. He just released a fantastic track with 365 Infantry to go along with the fantastic work that 365 Infantry is doing over on his Substack, and just for the world that he is building in the storytelling. So go check out that track. Maybe a little later this evening in the very, very end of the show, we could play that track. It's really, really good. Guilty Gearhead, what's going on? Roland's Law. Did I say hello to 10Cage? I feel like I did not. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't remember. Eric Wag. Maybe. Okay. A Geek Avenger for $2 over on YouTube says, "Hail Mike Barron." I try to not say the name of the guest until I introduce him, but Geek Avenger took the name and the words right out of my mouth on that one. And then we've got Ricky Rat Comics down there as well. And I do hope that all of you guys are having a fantastic evening. Oh, I forgot Christian Colebrook. He just jumped in. Christian, what's going on? Hello, good sir. It is fantastic to see everybody in the chat. I'm very, very excited about tonight's conversation. And without any further ado, Mr. Richard, the king of the Iron Age, the man who is building Anvil, the Iron Age magazine. Richard, how has your last week been?
It's been pretty crazy. I've had some stuff pop up that I was not expecting. I'm putting together a little something for, hopefully a little something for RH Snow, and
Yes.
that's still moving along. She just a few minutes ago posted an update. Apparently her husband's still on a ventilator, but other things are looking good, like spine and some of the other injuries that were obviously very, very serious have been resolved, or at least gotten under control. So
yeah, John A. Douglas just updated the Gilded on that too. So
okay, good.
Yeah, it's all going in a positive direction. So that is a good thing.
Yeah, and I think we have everything we need to get it all taken care of. So that's awesome. And next weekend, hopefully, I'll be driving out there. But I don't know, work. The main job may be screwing me next week, so we'll see.
Gotcha. Well, no, and for everybody in the chat, guys, just offer a special thought and a special prayer for RH Snow. Her husband was in a bad accident, and this is going on 2 weeks now. I believe week and a half now. He's been in the hospital in the ICU. So just offer up a special prayer for RH Snow. For those of you who may not know, she writes the Watcher, the Damned series, and we've had her here on the channel as well. So if you want to be introduced to her, but yeah, just keep her in your thoughts and prayers, and keep her husband and family in your thoughts and prayers as well. So,
Yes.
yeah, that's
It's difficult, but
Yeah.
I think that they seem to be handling it well, and her son also, who was actually a contributor to Anvil. I didn't realize it was her son until after we'd signed him up and accepted it. But they're all getting through it. So it's out of our hands at this point. But
Nope.
We'll be sending him a little something, and since I think it's going to be the Saturday before Mother's Day, I'm going to probably take some flowers. And if you guys want to have your name on a card, send me a message and I'll put your name on the card.
I do.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. If you need to send me something where I can actually sign my signature on it, I can do that too.
I'm probably just going to let my wife handle it, because I think we're going to have enough plates in the air spinning this week.
Nope, I understand. I understand, man. I understand. No, but absolutely, sign me up as well.
Absolutely.
So, no, well, oh, dude, thank you for doing that seriously, and especially you being close enough to be able to pull that off. That's really awesome of you.
Well, it was it worked out. It's not that far, and hopefully it'll be a nice thing. And I know that we have a strong community here that loves her, so we might as well show that. So
no, absolutely.
Anyway,
For real.
Absolutely. Well, Mr. Daniel P. Riley, how has your last week been?
Pretty good. I have a funny palate cleanser for all of that seriousness.
Oh,
My
no.
daughter got this for me.
Oh,
Hey,
that's
nice.
awesome. Epic.
I love that.
Thought I'd share it.
That's fantastic.
Otherwise, client projects and personal projects, the super secret ones are still going. I've been getting them in. Really excited to share them soon. We have some announcements coming up in the next couple of weeks, so I'll be keeping you guys posted as usual on these Friday streams.
Now, I am excited to see what you have coming. You have been a very secret squirrel about a lot of the things that you've been working on for months.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fine. I'm tired of it. And I'm ready to see what you're working on.
But when I do finally finish them, they're awesome, hence the auto shell.
There you go.
There you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am sure that The man who has joined us on tonight's stream probably needs no introduction, but it is my job to introduce him, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mike A. Barron. For those of you who don't know, he is a legend of the comic book industry. He's been writing his own comics and putting those out in the indie space for several years now. And the guy is and has been an inspiration to many, many, many people out there. Mike, for the 2 or 3 people who may not know you, introduce yourself to the chat and give us a little bit of your background.
Well, I always wanted to be a writer. My first job out of college was smoking dope for the government. I moved to Boston because I heard there were newspapers that were hiring. And I responded to an ad in the back of the Boston Phoenix. Volunteers wanted for a joint study by the National Institute of Mental Health and Harvard. Volunteers will live in a hospital ward in Mattapan for 30 days, smoke government dope, and take a battery of tests. College.
Oh my God.
And when I got out, I wrote that up and I sold it to the Boston Phoenix, and soon they hired me as their entertainment editor. So that's how I broke into writing, but I always wanted to write fiction.
Wow.
And it wasn't until I moved back to Madison, Wisconsin, and met Steve Rude that I broke into comics. We were just in the right place at the right time. Capital City Distribution, the second largest comic distributor in the world, wanted to start their own line of comics. So I went home, I dreamed up Nexus. I drew the first 12 pages out by hand, which is how I wrote comics for 20 years. And I gave them to the dude, and he penciled, inked, and lettered them, and we showed them to the boys, and they said, yeah, give us 20 more pages, and we were off and running.
That's fantastic.
That is cool.
That also not a story that you hear from everyone. You got your start by smoking government dope.
Well,
That is-
so that's how I broke into writing. Yeah, it's true.
Right.
It's true.
Right. No, that's
It's a good
that's
hook.
It was good
Awesome.
dope too, but it doesn't compare to what they're selling today.
yeah. So I've heard. I've always had jobs where I am not able to partake, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, from what I've heard from people that I know who smoke, they're like, yeah, it's very different nowadays. So, well, no, that's fantastic. So what got you on the current path that you're on with your own writing and your own, I guess your news stories that you're releasing on Kickstarter and Indiegogo?
Well, geez, it's just been a long, rugged march. You know, there were 10 years there that I couldn't find any writing work whatsoever. I took a job as a janitor. I took a job unloading automobile bumpers. I ended up moving out to Colorado.
Oh, shout out. I'm from Colorado.
Whereabouts?
I currently live in Iowa. I was born and raised there. I've only been in Iowa for 2 years, but I lived in a suburb of Denver called Arvada. Then I actually lived near Greeley, Colorado for the first, 8-9 years of my kid's life. So,
Well, then we moved out here, and a couple of things started to happen. I started writing again. And I've been trying to write novels for 30 years, and they were crap. But after taking this 10-year hiatus, I took another stab at it, and I realized that it was no longer crap, that I understood story. Now I thought, holy shit, this is what I've always wanted to do. Because once you understand story, you don't take a misstep. And that novel was Banshees, about a satanic rock band that returns from the dead. It's a huge novel. Publishers Weekly gave it a starred review. If you love Stephen King, you'll love this novel. And since then, I'd say I was a novel writing fool, but I have friends who publish 6 novels a year. I'm lucky if I can get out 3 novels a year. But I'm also doing a lot of comics and graphic novels. The whole thing with the graphic novel and the crowdfunding deal, we started that at home with my wife, Anne, who put together the campaign for Cue Ball, which is a book I was doing with Barry McLean. And it was a modest success, and we printed the books and we sent them off. Uh, but then every time I went online, there was another Florida man story. I don't choose my stories; the stories choose me. And after a while, I got the message: I got to write about this guy. So I wrote a novel about Florida man, and my publisher Wolfpack snapped it up.
That's
And
awesome.
then I decided to turn it into a graphic novel. And somehow I hooked up with Chris Brawley, who's a videographer from Chattanooga. And Chris has been instrumental to my success since then. He planned that campaign. And Florida Man shipped. And the next thing we did was Thin Blue Line. And Thin Blue Line blew up big. It's a story about two police officers trying to survive the night in a riot-torn city. And if you want that book, it's available from thinbluelinecomics.com. Just as Florida Man is available from floridamancomics.com. And we got that out. And the next one was kind of inspired by The Punisher, which I wrote for 5 years. And it was, I thought, what would The Punisher be doing today if I were writing him? He'd be down on the southern border, which is complete chaos. He'd be down there stopping human traffickers, fentanyl smugglers, and terrorists who are just pouring across the border. So I called it Private American, and we went to work, and we were just kind of chugging along when the Daily Kos, a far-left hate site, attacked me out of the blue. It was
remember
written
that.
by a woman who has never read anything I wrote. And the headline was, Mike Barron releases another racist as fuck comic. And she described Thin Blue Line as a comic about white police officers pouring into black neighborhoods to kill as many black people as possible.
Yeah, I read
Well,
that review.
Yeah.
Anybody who's read the book knows that has nothing to do with the story. The two protagonists, the two police officers, don't kill anyone in that book. In fact, they're not even white. So we contacted the Daily Kos and said, have you read Thin Blue Line? No. Would you like to? Oh, God, do we have to? So Chris made it available to them as a PDF 2 months ago. And since then, they haven't looked at it. So we're looking into taking legal action against them.
If I'm not mistaken, that was part of what got Private America pulled down, or Shadow Banner pulled
That's
down from
absolutely
Indiegogo.
right. She called this woman, Star Minion is her name. She said, everybody write Kickstarter and get this racist book taken down. So Kickstarter, being the craven shits that they are, they didn't even investigate it. They just took it down. But I think
Because
they
it's
have a
either
short-
it's easier for these asshats to bow down to the mob than it is to actually do any sort of research.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
And I remember when that was going on. I did a video about what they were doing to you, and not just you at the time, but it seemed like you were. I don't think you were necessarily the tip of the spear, but you were a part of like the spearhead of that whole thing, because there were like 7 or 8 different people. I can't remember who it was, but somebody released a list of all of the people being shadow banned and kicked off of Kickstarter.
Oh, well, that was Indiegogo does the shadow banning.
Oh yeah, Indiegogo does the shadow banning. Yeah.
It's all
And
my friends.
Yeah. And all of these people out there were just, and they're not writing political books, but
No.
they're not politically silent online. You know, they're just like, hey, I don't agree with this leftist stuff. I'm just going to write a fun book for people
They're
to read.
not abusive. They're not abusive. They're just heterodox, as I have always been.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it seems like they just went after you and people like you, and like you said, friends of yours, hard. And that was what, about 6 months ago, give or take?
The brouhaha with Private American, I think, happened about 4 months ago, because we launched late last year. I think. I could be wrong. I'd have to look. You know, Chris takes control of these things. It's a good thing, because I couldn't do it. And Chris is behind the videos, and the videos are the best videos that have ever been done for a crowdfunded comic. I don't know if you can show that video for Private American. It's a real mind blower.
That was fantastic. I have covered that
Do
one
it.
on the channel. It was great. Is that one over on? Actually, I don't even have to do it. I have the Indiegogo pulled up right here. So give me just a second to actually pull up the trailer. No, I have actually watched this several times on the channel in the past, and it's great every time. This is just one of those, and this is the Indiegogo page because that's where I was able to. Because again, I just had it pulled up here. Hopefully, audio is sharing.
America's
Yeah.
southern border has become a war zone. Human traffickers, drug smugglers, and terrorists flow across the Rio Grande with impunity, secure in the knowledge that no one will stop them. A distant federal government lectures Americans on their privilege while punishing overworked border patrol agents who were helpless to stem the tidal wave of invaders and determined migrants. Second-generation Cuban American Marcos Zamora is a military vet, more patriotic than most Americans. No longer
I
able
love
to
that.
ignore the chaos at his doorstep, he acts. Joined by his best friend Gus, they hit the border every night, saving lives while stopping violent drug cartels and other opportunists. The government reacts with fury at Marcos' attempts to preserve American sovereignty, deploying the full might of their enforcement agencies. But Marcos understands that the only thing the rich and powerful fear is bad publicity, and he records every encounter. Whoever he is, this private American must be stopped. Illustrated by Richard Balk and written by Eisner winner Mike Barron, Private American is his version of Captain America, and maybe a little Punisher, taking part in this ongoing, violent, and very real battle of good versus evil in the war for American sovereignty. Grab your copy at theprivateamerican.com.
We have a secure border, and that is a priority for our administration.
I love every time. It doesn't get old. It doesn't get old. There's so much in there. There's so much in there. Cuban American, second generation immigrant who loves America more than most Americans do. How many times have you met people like that who came here from other countries?
The people that come here from communist countries are trying to warn us. They talk to us every day about
Yeah.
what's happening in this country, but nobody's listening.
Oh, I know. I've worked construction. I've come from the natural gas field, and I'm going to tell you right now, there's more not white guys in construction than there are white guys, and a lot of them came to this country because of where they came from, and they'll tell you what they think about where they came from and the things that they think that we should avoid. You know, the other thing that I noticed is that in that description there in Private America, the description for that is he was going after drug cartels. I didn't see anywhere where it said he was going after some poor mother just trying to get across the border to give a better life. So he doesn't go after poor mothers just trying to give a better life.
No,
No,
he
goes.
understands about that. And
Yeah.
I think we all understand the yearning to have a better life. And if we have
Yeah.
the opportunity to move from some shithole into the
Mhm.
United States, we would take it for our family. And in fact, once he disrupts these people smugglers, we first encounter him as he busts up a rape where the guy's trying to rape a 12-year-old girl. You know, they found a 6-year-old girl who had crossed the border, and she had DNA from 67 different men when they tested her.
Nope. I know. Trust me. I pay attention to a lot of that. Yep. And
Yes, but Private American, he says, you see that light over there, go there, they'll help you. And he steers them to the units that have been set up by the government to provide them with health care and food, you know, and get them settled.
no, and it's I don't understand why there is such a divide here on this particular topic politically. And that kind of led to these asshats out here saying defamatory things about you online and not even reading the story. There's a lot of humanity in what you're saying. I guess the biggest thing is that you're out there saying that, a lot of the rich elites, they're scared of the truth. And the Private American is out there to expose them for who they are.
Well, that's
And
part
maybe
of the
that's-
theme. But I have to stress, though, that my number one goal in any of these books is to entertain. That's first and foremost, and I never lose sight of that. Private American is an exciting, enthralling story. You pick it up, you won't be able to put it down. And that's what I aim to do with everything I write, whether it's downstream from politics or from culture or not. Because the next one we're doing, Bronze Star, is not controversial. It's a supernatural Western. And I have another video which I would like to debut right now. I just posted it to your Twitter and your Facebook feeds. It's for Bronze Star. We're going to sneak it now. We're not launching until next month, but I think people get a kick out of this video.
Awesome.
God. I have to find it. There
Find
it
it
is. There
and
it
let's
is.
do it.
This is going to be cool. Ladies and gentlemen. Nope, stop. The video is oh, man. We get to be a premiere for Mike Barron on that makes me happy. I'm freaking excited. All right. Let me... Sorry, I've got a lot of screens going on here.
You know, it's I couldn't do it. It's a miracle I can use this computer.
Oh, this is great. Hopefully. All right, I'm going to crank the audio all the way up. Chat, if it's too loud, let me know. Chat, if it's not too loud, I can't turn it up any louder.
The Civil War was America's bloodiest conflict. Over 500,000 died to preserve national unity. When the war ended, Confederates like Harley Brogdon headed west, shooting game for the Army and gambling. When a card game turns deadly, Harley shoots in self-defense, killing the card sharp who threw down first. Wilfred Knorr, the card sharp's wealthy father, will stop at nothing to see Harley hang. Harley flees to Cobb's Gap, an old silver mining town at the foot of the Rockies. A remarkably peaceful town, especially after dark. But the sheriff harbors a dark secret, and no one dares go into the mines anymore. Cobb's Gap is full of secrets. People speak in hushed tones of something in the mine. Something worse than their cursed sheriff. Something even the Indians fear. Tired of running, Harley falls in love with a local widow with secrets of her own. But when Knorr's posse arrives seeking vengeance, the stage is set for a showdown with unimaginable horrors from the deepest pits of hell. And every secret will be exposed. Eisner winner Mike Barron and acclaimed illustrator Pat Broderick present one of the weirdest westerns that Comic Dom has ever seen. Bronze Star, a thrilling tale of love, revenge, and supernatural terror from the minds of two legendary creators. It's not the monster you're looking for. Order your copy at bronzestarcomic.com.
Awesome.
That is
I love that.
epic. Oh my God.
Yeah, we're very proud of this one. It's the best work of Pat's career.
That is fantastic.
Really
Oh, wow.
Man,
No, I was actually just really digging the music. I'm a music guy. I was really digging the guitar work in the background. I know it's just a simple Western style tune, but I really like when things accentuate what's on the screen. So I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got lost in your audio track and less in the voiceover work. That was very well done. That was
we're lucky to have Sam Elliott narrate our videos for us.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Yeah, I'm excited about this project. I did a little bit of looking into it, but obviously we're still pretty sparse on the details. What is there anything as far as like the length of the comic?
It's I think
that
the story itself is about 56 pages.
Okay, all right, very cool.
Maybe a couple pages longer. Then we're going to have a bunch of pinups,
Mm-hmm.
so forth. And I've already written a sequel. As I have written a sequel for Thin Blue Line, which is
Mm-hmm.
Joe's already illustrating it. You know, the guy that drew Thin Blue Line is a full-time police officer.
Oh, really? I did not.
Wow.
Know.
He still works. He's a very good artist. He still works faster than a lot of pros.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also have been, I was going to say, talking to Bane a little bit, and one of their, I guess, early review copies that they sent out this month was for Black Tide Rising.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Which
doing
is-
that too.
Oh yeah, which is another one. So man, you're a very busy guy.
I'm excited about that one. Chuck did the first one.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the one that I think that's the one that they shared. But yeah, this is back to Bronze Star. I'm really looking forward to this. Are you? What's the timeline on it? I mean, I know it's going up for pre-order next month.
We launched June 3rd. Jose wants to know about Garth Ennis run on the Punisher. I did read a few of Garth's issues, Jose, and I thought they were very professionally done, and they were entertaining.
Awesome.
Not the way I would have done it, but that guy can write.
Mm-hmm. Well, fair enough.
Sorry guys, I'm catching up with everything and trying to make sure that I share everything. No, the chat is very, very excited, both over on Rumble and over here in YouTube. I mean, the Rumble chat, they're talking about you and very, very excited. And we have quite a few people. Actually, I will share this super chat. I have a couple of super chats, and usually I save them for later in the show, but this is a little bit of a different case here. Maji Chan for $10 says, Michael A. Barron, thank you so much for hanging with such a small channel. You, sir, are a legend and one of the major influences in getting my interests into reading.
Oh, thank you.
So that is Maji Chan right there for $10 over on YouTube. And then Wrangler for $10 says, my copy of The Private American arrived today. It's good physical quality, and I look forward to reading it tomorrow. So that is quite fortuitous that his copy of Private American arrived today.
Yeah, I've only.
I should also mention that, I do write 3 novels a year. And right now I'm working on the 10th biker novel. If you like hard-boiled crime fiction, you should check out my biker novels. I was inspired to write by John D. MacDonald and his Travis McGee character, as were many, many writers today, many of whom I admire. And we've all done our own version of Travis McGee. Well, mine is Josh Pratt, a reformed motorcycle hoodlum who went to prison and found God and comes out determined to turn his life around. These stories are graphic and grim. They're very fast-paced. They're brutal, but they have put their poetic moments. I'm very proud of them. There are 9 out right now. They're all available. Just go to Amazon, you type in my name, you get 22 pages of stuff. Not all of it is good. And I'm only talking about the good stuff. I mean, there are comics I wrote long ago that I wish I could claw back, but that was when I was just, feeling my way.
I almost want to ask just because I'm curious.
It's I can imagine that. I can imagine that having a because when did you start in your career in comics? Like, you don't have to give a year, but I think all of us here know that you've been around a while in the comic world for sure.
1981 is when I met Steve Rude.
Okay.
I think the first black and white Punisher, Nexus may have come out that year. And because of that, and Badger, people started calling me and asking me to write other titles, notably The Punisher. Carl Potts asked me to write that, and I wrote that for 5 years. And I'm probably proudest of that, of all my major character or mainstream comics work. Although I wrote an awful lot of characters. I wrote The Flash, Dead Man, some Star Wars stuff, Hawk and Dove.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've got to admit that I was unaware of your biker series. I was going to say, you've got.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about it either.
I was going to say, you've got so many things going that.
It's down in the chat now.
Oh, I was just pulling it up myself, actually.
All right, already got it. Yep, and no, it's definitely down in the chat. I was pulling it up. That's why I'm looking around like a rabbit on crack.
It's one of those things.
You-
I'm so familiar with the comics that Mike's been involved in that I guess it never occurred to me to really look deeper beyond that. It was just so wowed by those.
Oh, here, let me send you the cover because all the covers look like this. They all have the same cover. The only thing that changes is the color.
Mhm. Yeah, I
And,
did see that.
Jose wants to know, speaking of Westerns, you want Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy. Jose, that's the one Cormac McCarthy I couldn't finish. It was just too grim. And you know, Chuck said, we're going to have artificial intelligence writing Cormac McCarthy books. It's going to be everything was dead. There was
yeah.
no hope.
The end.
Yeah.
But I do like Cormac McCarthy, and I enjoyed all the Pretty Horses and No Country for Old Men. The Road was a bit much. I mean, that was
Yeah.
typical.
that was very grim.
Yeah.
But, and also your Florida Man series, which you're sporting the hat for as well.
Yeah.
So
Oh, show that biker cover. It's in your Facebook feed. And
Yep.
I'll send you the Florida Man book too, because we're here to push books.
There we go. Oh, there it is. Got it.
yeah, I actually think I'm not sure who had Florida Man, but it was kind of one of the notices that I got. I was like, oh wow, okay, this is Mike Barron. I know who this is.
Yep.
And
Florida
cracking me
Man
up.
is very funny.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
will laugh out loud. That's what all the biker covers look like. The color changes and the title changes. And each one is better than the last. As I mentioned, you know, my number one goal in writing anything is to entertain. Number two is more of a technical thing. It's show, don't tell. But that's important. And it means that any information you can impart to the reader visually without words, you should. And that goes for prose too. And I'll tell you
Yeah,
what I
absolutely.
mean. When you say John went into the alley and someone shot him in the back, or you say John went into the alley, he was acutely aware of the smell of garbage and the oily sheen on the puddles that had collected on the floor. When suddenly a Mack truck slammed into the middle of his back, he hit the red brick wall so hard it crushed his eye socket, and as he slid down, red granules were scraping off on his cheek, and it wasn't until he settled on the floor of the alley that he felt a warm liquid forming in the small of his back, and he remembered the loud report, and that was the last thing he remembered. So that's showing that he shot without ever once saying that somebody shot him. And the third rule is to be original.
Yep.
Great
Well,
example.
I actually that's a interesting topic, and this is a little bit outside of the normal Iron Age, since obviously you're working with a lot of new IPs. But just to go back a little bit on your career, when working with other people's IPs or other properties, like did you? I guess as somebody who's not really familiar with what that kind of work would be like, did you ever find yourself running into boundaries or walls on what you were able to do and not being able to necessarily create the characters that you wanted to create or tell
because
stories?
it's my job to transform whatever prose work into a graphic novel. And, I've done a lot of it. I did Elric stories,
Mhm.
and then I adapted the Heir to the Empire series by Timothy Zahn. I adapted that into graphic novels for Dark Horse. And they wanted 6 issues out of each book. It was simple. I divided the book up into 6 roughly symmetrical sections, taking into account natural pauses, like at the end of the chapter and the beginning of the next one. And then I broke that down into 24 pages each. And I didn't use any of my own language. I pride myself on never using any of my own language when I'm adapting somebody else's work. So every word in there was written by Timothy Zahn.
What a concept. Using the language of the original writer. Boy, that's that. How did you come across that? Is that a new thing?
That's out of
or-
fashion these days, I think.
I'm sure I'm not the first person to do that. If
No.
there have been adaptations of classic literature forever, Classics Illustrated, Dark Horse did a whole series of classics. I have Jerry Gianni's version of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and the prose all came straight out of Jules Verne, and likewise you see a comic book adaptation of Tom Sawyer, and it's all Mark Twain. If the writer's any good, when they change the language or dumb it down, I find that baffling. And you know, there's some books that maybe they don't lend themselves so well to a graphic treatment because of Huckleberry Finn, because the language in Huckleberry Finn, which has already been banned in half the half the school libraries in the country because it contains a certain word.
They've changed it in the books. They went in the modern prints of it. They've already changed the language in the books.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a shame.
You know, I'm not for book burning, but any of these Bowdlerized versions which change the original, they don't deserve to have a market. They should not be read.
Then
Now
they're doing it with
to
Roald
James
Dahl.
Bond.
They're doing it with
James Bond.
Well, they're doing it with everything is the
Yeah.
I
problem.
know, and it's just ridiculous. And it just
Well- Yeah.
points to the craven, tiny souls of these people who have taken over the culture.
So one of the things that I've found very insidious while we're talking about this is that if you look at some of the examples, because Ronald Dahl was a public one, and people got very into that one recently. Like, I don't know. I was there's at least some rationality in my mind behind. Not necessarily like it's justified, but I can understand their thinking with some of these changes where they want to take out maybe an offensive word or they didn't want to have this. But so many of these changes were not even about trying to make things less offensive. They were just dumbing everything down. And I think that there is beyond, to me, I think the removal of offensive language or whatever else, everything is offensive, right? But that's just their fig leaf. What they really want to do is go in and ruin these things and make it all the same,
It's what they really want to do is control.
Yeah.
Control everyone. Control what you're allowed to think. Control what you're allowed to say. And I think we're all aware of that.
Yeah, hopefully by now. But it's incredible. And I've had the thought that, there's a number of people, and this is a topic I'd like to ask you about, because you're creating both. You've done a lot of, obviously you have a very long career, but you're also still creating new stuff. And, I'm always of the opinion that we should continue creating and building while also trying to preserve what's old. But I think, without new things to kind of draw people in and try new ideas, sometimes you don't get the appreciation for the old. Is that something that you've seen with some of your work and whatnot? Have you had some?
Well, I don't consider my work classic. Let's look at the real classics. When I went to school, in high school, we studied Shakespeare. We read Dickens. We read Mark Twain, and these are classics for a reason. This is enduring literature. It's part of the human condition. The insights they offer are invaluable, and they should be taught today. The problem today is school kids can't even read. They can't read, so how are they going to read Shakespeare? And they can't read because we have a whole generation of school teachers, and I'm sure you're aware of this, that
Don't even get
job
me started.
to indoctrinate kids into a particular way of thinking, and that's what they spend their time on in class. I mean, I can't tell you how often I've seen videos of these young school teachers, and invariably they have purple or blue hair, boasting about how they're turning their kids into activists. Well, they're not there to turn their kids into activists. They're there to teach kids how to think and how to deal with the real world. And
That
that's why
hasn't been true
the
for like
public
30
school
years.
system is failing, and why parents are pulling their your children out. But I don't want to get bogged down on that. I mean, let's get back to comics or something.
Yeah, fair
Well,
enough. Fair
yeah.
I'm a
To that
former
point, that-
teacher, so I don't want to go on that rant.
That's, my wife and I homeschool our kids for that
Good
reason.
for you.
So that's
Thank
yeah. You're definitely in good company here.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I homeschooled
no,
mine.
getting back. So getting into the comics. Okay, so I want to ask. I want to ask you this because getting back into the comics, and because I've wanted to kind of do a top 10 of this year, but I want to ask you, what are your top 5 projects? Not they don't have to be yours; they can be friends of yours. But what are your top 5 comic projects of 2023 so far?
Well, I think that Ethan Van Sciver's hitting his stride with Cyberfrog. And if you haven't seen that, it's the artwork is just unbelievably detailed and explosive, and he's created a world which is internally consistent and totally believable. And I would compare it to Tolkien or something like that. It's completely different, of course, but I mean it succeeds on that level. And also Aaron Lopresti's Wraith of God. Aaron can not only draw, he writes very well, and I've been impressed with his work a lot. I see that George Alexopoulos has a new Western out, and I haven't read it yet, but Alexopoulos is a very talented artist and a great thinker. And if you follow him on Twitter, you know what I mean, because he's got the most acid pen in the world when it comes to modern politics. He doesn't spend all his time on it, but his political cartoons have more impact than anybody else's that I know of. What else?
Have you seen his children's book that he released? George
Yeah, I've seen
Alexopoulos.
ads for it. I have one
Yeah,
of his books right down here.
Yeah, we actually bought Goofberry Pie from George, and we were working to try to get him on Iron Age Nights, but the schedule just never quite worked out. But
Well, I would love to be on with him sometime. Hang on a second.
man.
I'm looking for George's book.
no, my daughter still has to be, and we've had it for months now. She still has not grown tired of Goofberry Pie, George Alexopoulos' book. Let me blow that up real quick. But no, George's. Oh! Hold that up one more time. Hold it up one more time.
Hang on a
Sorry.
second. I'm making a big mess here. In my
Oh no, I do it all the time. Oh God, that's so great.
Yeah, Bad Dreams.
Oh, I was gonna say I was thinking it would have been one of the Mary Sue ones, but I'm gonna have to check that out. Bad Dreams,
That
interesting.
looks so good. God, he's
It's
so good.
cool. It is cool.
What else? I don't know. I hardly buy any commercial comics these days. When I do, I'm invariably disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
No, and that's why I said, what are your top 5? Like, what, it doesn't have to be, the mainstream. Because I think a lot of people here are tired of the mainstream storytelling, whether it's in video format, comic format, book format. And a lot of people that are gathered here, believe it or not, most of the people down in the chat right now are writing their own stories or creating their own artwork, networking, writing their own music, connecting with other people, building their own animations. I mean, that's everything that
I've
is.
networked with most of them.
Yeah. Daniel does the editing work for most of them, as he is a book editor.
And they've been doing projects for me too. Some of the secret projects that are coming out are from members of the community.
Yeah. And so that's, I think most people are where you are, in that they're tired of what the mainstream comics turned into, and they just want to get back to good storytelling and fun storytelling. And I tell everybody, put something in my hands that I can put in the hands of my kids. That's the most important thing to me. I've had my stories. I read my books when I was a kid. I watched my cartoons and my movies, and I'm 31 years old, guys. I've consumed enough media in my life, but my kids, boy, there's a lot of media out there that they could consume. And I want to make sure that I direct them towards the media that is good and fruitful for them and fun for them. Doesn't have to be serious all the time, but that's my goal. And that's why I try to reach out to guys like you and George and and the Shad M. Brooks, you know, and a lot of the guys that we've had. So
You know, I don't think there's a better comic for kids than Uncle Scrooge. It was written and drawn by Carl Barks. I think they're among the greatest comics ever done. There's not a wasted word or panel in any of them. He's a master of storytelling, a master of characterization. If you want something you can safely show your kids no matter how old they are,
yeah.
Uncle Scrooge is it. And that means, and they appeal to everyone. I mean, I read those comics today and they're still brilliant and entertaining.
1955. I will be sending those to my wife then.
Can't go wrong with the classics.
No, you cannot. You cannot. I will have to be getting that. Yeah, I've got my headphones are going out on me apparently, which I hope not because they're brand new and shouldn't. No, and that's one of the things that I really tell people all the time is that we've touched on the culture side of things and how the culture kind of got hijacked by a lot of these people. And I think one of the things that, and why I say that I want something to put in the hands of my kids is because I think we're not going to take the culture back in 5 minutes or 5 years. But what is important, what the people who are going to create the culture, who are going to bring it back, is the next generation. Right? The current generation, they're already doing their thing. They've got their stuff. But as that generation gets older and starts to kind of lose their grip on society the way that they have it now, my kids are going to come up and their generation is going to come up. And it's important for us to make sure that those kids have good stories and have good things to share with each other. And they can talk about heroes and heroines again and they can, or just funny stories. I mean, who cares? I mean, I remember like, I watched the cartoon, but I know it was based off the comic. But I used to watch like Archie's Weird Mysteries, you know, which was based off the Archie and Jughead comics. Like, and I love that stuff as a kid. And I just want fun things like that and good, you know, and good stories for the kids to see and get out of. I guess some of the darker stuff that we've seen lately in a lot of storytelling and the nihilism that we've seen.
It's the whole reason
Like
I wrote
Cormac
Legacy Heroes.
McCarthy.
Yeah. Exactly what you're talking about, Royce, is the whole reason I wrote Legacy of Heroes. It's new superheroes, young superheroes, and one of them literally takes over for a fallen superhero. The point, the little tiny detail in that is that you can take from the old and bring it with you into the present.
Yeah, and you're not wrong there. Not wrong by any stretch of the imagination. Sorry, I'm currently I'm sending things to my wife. I told you I was going to send the Uncle Scrooge stuff to my wife. I'm like, well, because if I don't now, I'll forget. Remember, enemy.
So I actually have a couple questions, if you don't mind us circling back to Bronze Star. With your like, I've been going through a bunch of westerns recently, just out of they've been popping up, and I'm like, I need to rewatch some of these old ones and so on and so forth. But were there any particular inspirations that you drew from on Bronze Star?
No, I try to be original. Of course, there's a long tradition in Westerns, which is hard to ignore. In fact, I just wrote a column about my 10 favorite Westerns. I have a Substack column. You go to Substack, type in Mike Barron, you can check it out. And a lot of the parts of the story are I'm not going to call them cliches, but they're sturdy elements of so many Westerns. For instance, the crooked card game that ends in a shooting, the extra-legal posse pursuing an innocent man, elements of the Civil War. But I do try to be original. And while we're talking about it, I'd like to point out two of the Westerns that are in my top 10 that most people have never heard of. One is Valdez is Coming, based on a novel by Elmore Leonard and starring Burt Lancaster. And the other is Ulzana's Raid, also starring Burt Lancaster. And they're both incredible Westerns, among my favorites. But the number one on my list was The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, because you can't have a list without a John Ford, John Wayne Western. In fact, John Wayne's on there a couple of times.
Man Who Shot Liberty Valance is awesome.
That's my
I have to
favorite
check those
John
other
Ford
two out.
Western. Everybody says, what about The Searchers? I don't think The Searchers is that great. Excuse me.
Oh no, Mike dropping hot takes.
But I love Westerns. I just got a copy of Hombre at the pawn shop the other day. I'm going to watch that. I've seen it many times, you know. But Unforgiven is in there. Don't get me started. And of course, The Wild Bunch.
The point of this show is to introduce you to people. So by all means, get started on anything you want. This is your show, Mike.
Well, thank you. Well, I love Westerns. And I watched as much Yellowstone as I could, which was the first 4 seasons. And I loved it. I can't wait to watch the 5th season, but I don't get Paramount Plus, so I'm going to have to wait till it comes out on DVD or something. Plus 1893 and 1923. I'm dying to see those, but I don't get those streaming services. But they restored my faith in Westerns, because, Westerns were a staple of TV for so long, especially the Warner Brothers Westerns, which was Sugarfoot, Maverick, Wagon Train, Gunsmoke, Deadwood. Deadwood was a great Western.
Deadwood's a great one.
Yeah.
I got into watching this old Technicolor Western. I believe it's called The Virginian. I was watching it a couple of months back. It was a really enjoyable show to watch, and unexpectedly, it wasn't very heavy on the action. It was actually more dramatic than anything else, which was a pleasant surprise.
Also, The Big Country, which I saw for the first time a month ago. I'd always wanted to see it. And it's not what you would expect either. It's not a blood and guts Western at all, although it has those elements around the fridges. It's primarily a character study.
Yep.
Yeah, I was... so, speaking of the Western comic that George Alexopoulos is working on, he's working with...
Ghost of the Badlands.
Yeah, Ghost of the Badlands. Razor Fist is the one who... wrote the story for that, and he was talking about his list of Western influences, and one of the things that he's predicted is that he kind of thinks that Westerns are going to be making a revival here in a big way. Do you feel similarly, or?
Well, I don't know. I don't think they've ever gone away, especially in novel form. If you read Westerns in novel form, Pete Brandvold is a good friend of mine. He's the guy that publishes 6 Westerns a year. And he's probably the most popular Western writer in the world right now. If you want to read a good Western, grabs you by the throat on the first page, check out Pete. So I think that in fiction, in novels, Westerns are healthier than ever. But the movie industry today is in complete free fall. They don't know whether to shit or go blind. Last decent Western I saw was Old Henry.
I don't know.
It's a couple years old.
That one might have slipped me by. I don't remember that.
And I don't want to give it away.
They
Hang
don't
on a
get
second,
as
I'll
much
tell you who's in
publicity
it.
as they should.
It's a really good Western.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe that Westerns ever
Stars
really fell out of
Tim
style.
Blake Nelson. Tim Blake Nelson, who also stars in the Ballad of Buster Scruggs on Netflix. And
okay.
I would recommend that, if only for the first episode, which is
Yeah.
Tim Blake Nelson. They're kind of grim. Bone Tomahawk. Bone Tomahawk was grim too. But I recommend Old Henry. That's a fairly decent recent Western. And so was Hostiles with Christian Bale.
Yep.
That was pretty good.
That was I really enjoyed Hostiles.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out Old Henry because that flew under my radar. But
Yeah, it got a
very cool.
91% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. I can't give it away because it's got a big reveal and it's big, but you'll enjoy it.
Hmm. Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, whenever I said that they're kind of coming back, it's more like they're entering the, I would say, like the broader cultural consciousness. You know what I mean? Kind of like the way
Returning.
that, yeah. I mean, certainly because they were huge, back in the late 60s and 70s. So
The reason I
compared to
said
that,
the reason I said that though is that your standard 80s and early 90s, even late 90s to 2000s when it did start to peter out, all of those action films and TV shows and stories that you read, if you really look at them objectively, they follow the same format as most westerns do.
well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a, I think that
The scenery
there's definitely some themes that were retained across those, right?
Yeah.
Especially with the justice and vigilante justice and dealing with corruption,
defending what's yours.
yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's
Guys, I
I
gotta bow
feel like
out.
westerns are like the American standard,
Yeah.
if there ever was one.
No, I will not see the Alec Baldwin Western.
Okay.
Guys, I gotta bow out.
All right. Well, thank you
Thank
for
you
coming.
for having
Mike
me
was
on, gentlemen.
great.
We'll do this again.
Yes, absolutely.
The earlier,
Yeah.
the better.
Yeah. All right. We'll
It's great
we'll see
to
what we
meet you.
can.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, I missed saying goodbye to him. I was trying to get back.
I was like, run, Royce, run.
I was trying to get back. Hail, Mike Barron, ladies and
we
gentlemen.
didn't, we
Mike,
didn't get questions for him. Oh well.
we
I'm glad that
did not.
swung
We
by.
did not get to questions. That's all right. That's okay though. I mean, this is an unusually long stream for a lot of streams. I get it, but God, what just a great guest, guys. Go check out all of the links that we dropped down in the chat for Mike Barron. Yeah, I usually I gotta
Your
get up
eyes
and-
out for Bronze Star. That looks
Yes.
like
Oh, that looks so good, dude. His trailers are so freaking good. Like, God, they're so good.
the Sam Elliott narration kind of sells it.
Right. Yeah. No kidding. Right. Yeah. Everybody's like, that's Sam. Yeah. That's so great. Oh man. Ram says, "Oh crap, is Private American still for sale?" I believe it is. Yes, he did say that you could go buy it somewhere. I don't know where that is though.
PrivateAmericanComics.com, I believe he said it was.
Yeah, and then I also did see it on, oh god, it was Thin Blue Line, the Thin Blue Line comics. You can get the Private American digital download over here on the front page. So you should be able to get the digital download here, and I would imagine you might even be able to go to his Amazon page, which I don't have up anymore because I'm a scrub. Give me a second here. Sorry, he was dropping so many different websites and stuff like that. So like I was just going as quick as I could to try to find all of. I mean, God, he's got so you just type in his name.
Yeah,
go to
he's kind of
Amazon.
super pro on that one because like everything has its own website as opposed to us in the lower tiers who put it all on one website.
Right. He's got so many titles to his name. It's not there. Yeah, but the Private American, you can go get it in a couple of different places. So, I feel bad for not saying goodbye to him, but hopefully he had a good time.
So he said he'd like to do it again, so maybe we'll have him back on soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. That would be fantastic. Usually I gotta get up and stretch my legs at about an hour sitting on this chair because this chair is wholly uncomfortable.
Y'all need a seat of power.
Huh?
I said y'all need a seat of power. Come on now.
Yeah, well, I've managed to finally make this office chair a little bit more tolerable. So it's the gaming chair, man. The gaming chair is like deceptively, it makes you think that it's going to be comfortable and then it cripples you.
Yeah.
so that you're permanently, crowdfund a chair, so that you're permanently stuck with the computer in front of you. It's a diabolical plan.
Yeah, my office chair, I call it the Palpatine throne because that's what it literally looks like, and it rotates full circle, so I can just sort of push off and spin slowly around. All I need is a metal hand and a cat. I can be Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
There you go.
Damn it, don't get that song stuck in my head.
I was gonna say, you're the one who did it there.
Always gets stuck
the
in my
one
head
to blame.
anytime like I remotely think of Gadget.
Gadget.
Oh, I always say Inspector Gadget. Da-na-na-na-na-na. I loved that series. Geek Avenger, you need a Masterpiece Theater wingback chair. Oh God. Oh, and some cargo pants. No, we're not doing cargo pants. No.
So random.
I don't understand my chat. Herman P. Hunter.
Heavenly Music really is looking for a pair of cargo pants. He wants some Iron Age branded cargo pants.
I'm
going to figure out something one of these days. IronCon 2025, there will be some cargo pants waiting.
Closest
Even if it's just a pair of like Walmart cargo pants with a sticker down the leg.
I'm not going to be that cheap. It's not going to be a sticker.
Oh God, grab Royce a computer. Yeah, this one's getting kind of old. Even my buddy who built it is like, dude, you need to get a new computer because
that was many months ago, guys.
I
all
still
know Royce doesn't change.
I'm trying. Computers are expensive, and especially for doing what I'm trying to do here, like they're not cheap. Like if you're just getting like a regular home computer, you could spend under $1,000 to do anything that I'm trying to do here and boost production and boost like what's going on and not have crashes and like it gets spendy. HP Hunter over on Rumble for $5, and I am so glad that Mike Barron left before this. He says, Mike, have you ever read The Legend of Shallar?
Oh jeez. Come on,
Maybe it's
Herman,
just
I
as well that
expected
he
more
left.
from you.
I don't think the chat is screwing with me when they tell me that like everybody in the Gilded is working on it. I don't think it's a troll
yet
at this
see
point.
any progress, ladies and gentlemen.
And
so-
if they are in fact working on this, troll book, when it gets done, I will obviously have to get a copy, and I will have to read out of it live on stream, and we'll just have a Shallar night. And just laugh at all of the horrible things that people say about me in book form.
I'm increasingly concerned by what might find its way in there. So, let's see if I can get back to Twitter because I wanted to show this earlier, but Mike was here and I was like, no, it's not. No, let's let Mike. He's gonna do that. Oh God, fucking bless it, Jose. Fuck, no. We're off the.
We're up.
What is this?
Eric Wag.
I see.
I don't understand. Oh God, you know what? If you can't laugh at yourself,
Now
you
I'm
can't
looking
laugh
on.
at it.
What is this from?
This is Eric Wag.
It's on
I have
Twitter. It looks like
it's on Twitter. Yeah, it's on Twitter.
I see.
Yeah.
Well done, Eric.
What's the shard controversy? Wait, what? Shard controversy. What do you mean shard controversy? And Dead, what are you talking about? My Shallar story is kid friendly, just like you asked. Oh God, they're actually doing it. They're actually. I think it's an anthology, is what they're. What are you guys doing?
I'm not surprised.
So, what is the shard controversy? And Dead, please clarify that. That would be wonderful. King Bot, I'm already in Daniel's book, so yay for me. There you go. I misheard you. Oh, okay. The Shallar. So for those who are new here, who don't understand what Shallar
flee the area.
is. Okay, yeah. Flee the area. Thank you for stopping by. Avoid the chat. Don't interact with the chat.
Don't read the chat.
Do it. Don't read
Listen
the chat.
only to
Just
us.
don't
Join the chat, folks.
don't join the chat. But for those of you who don't know, so the Legend of Shalar started. I do a Wednesday night live stream every single week, and I bring supporters of my channel on. And those supporters are from the people who support me on Gilded and the people who support me on adrinkwithcrazy.locals.com. YouTube tends to not like creators like me. One, because I don't talk about Barbie doll topics like they want, and I'm just an overall arching term for topics that are absolutely about nothing. I get political sometimes. But anyway, so on this live stream where I bring my supporters on and we cover people who share their projects with me on my Wednesday tweet on Twitter. I'm trying to bring an audience to the creators of new comics, new books, new animations. That's my goal. I want to build this channel as big as I can and bring an audience here so that way I can send the audience towards other creators. In one of those streams, I was scrolling down and everybody said, dude, you have to go. You've got to read Shalar. For 5 minutes, they had me looking for this damn project called The Legends of Shalar. They kept telling me I needed to find The Legend of Shalar. Turns out doesn't exist. It's not a fucking book. It wasn't in the stream. I looked for 5 minutes and they go, no, dude, you passed it. And my supporters on the live stream were also doing it. And they were fucking with me. And so I finally realized after 5 minutes, because I'm really smart, guys. I'm really, really smart. Okay, so after 5 minutes and my really smartness kicking in, I realized they're fucking with me. I go, fuck you guys. So let's go. Let's just go check these other projects out. We're going to do that. Well, turns out my chat never lets me forget. And now, months later, multiple people in my Gilded community are writing Legends of Shalar as a troll on me. So for those, yes, I know Shalar is, or they're not writing it and they're just telling me that they're writing it. I don't know. My chat loves to abuse me. It's one of their favorite pastimes. And, well, you know what? It's as long as the channel grows, I guess.
We appreciate him for it.
No, but ultimately, like, I will say this, though. My Gilded community is just, my Gilded community is one of the best communities out there because it's not about me. It's actually about everybody coming together and networking and laughing and having fun and building stories and writing stories and bouncing ideas off of each other and then giving each other shit at the same time. Like my Gilded server is both brilliant and ruthless all at the same time, and it's fantastic. I probably could drop that link, I guess. So I will drop that link. There we go. But yes,
join the Gilded.
And Dead says, like a real community, like a real community. Yeah, almost like a real community. That's a really good way to put it, and Dead.
Almost.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Evelyn, oh God. Real human beings. Not human beings, human beings.
Oh,
give Royce your money. Don't give me, no. Save your money and give it to more deserving people. That's what I tell you.
I want to be a jumping bean.
I don't want to be a bean. I want to be a me. That's it. I am slowly but surely working on that video. I hope I have time. I might not have time to put it together tomorrow like I wanted to. But I have all of the articles pulled up. I've got background research. I am really, really hoping that this video that I plan to put out, the video essay, is good, because it's going to be one of the first video essays and first conversational style videos that I've done like this since like the beginning of A Drink with Crazy. And actually, all right, guys, should I show people what original A Drink with Crazy looked like?
Yes.
Yeah,
should I do it? Should I do it?
Okay.
We're gonna eventually have to make a return to that format, though. At least the
we'll recreate it for the all together live stream.
Yeah, dude, I put that set together for like $200. It was great.
We'll have to find a facsimile of the Seat of Power for that.
Right. All right. I'll have to go to my personal Facebook page. But guys, I am going to show you, this is back in 2018 when A Drink with Crazy started. And I have to go to my personal Facebook page to even find these photos. It's somewhat embarrassing, but you know what, dude? I tried my ass off. I've always tried my ass off. I've always worked hard to put something together that was entertaining. Turns out just that format. But okay, so this is the
I've never heard
original
anybody
A
use the
Drink.
phrase "tried my ass off."
Yes. Well, I always do.
It's a
This
new
is the
one.
original A Drink with Crazy set. So for those of you, this is the original A Drink with Crazy set. That is my World War II field phone. Those are the microphones. This is what we were trying to go for. Two-person style conversation. And then this is what our jackasses looked like. We were we were trying to do something more.
Wait, look at that, guys. I think maybe there is some truth to this whole wig thing.
The wig thing. Yeah, that's my buddy Matt. That's my best friend Matt. He's a guitarist.
No,
in my
no,
band,
I'm
but-
talking about you. Look at that.
Fuck off.
See there? No, I'm not.
Fuck off. But yeah, it's but no. So that was the original A Drink with Crazy set, and like what we were trying to do, we were trying to do a political show, and it just turned out not, to not work out.
I bet the chat's loving that.
Oh God. And then all right, here, how's about this? We'll dive
Snuck
into
into the
Royce's.
middle school.
Here's me in studio.
There
So-
we go.
Hey,
Yeah, here's me in studio. So let's see, that's the drop D guitar. What song were we working on then? But yeah, I can't actually remember. But yeah, here's me in studio. I was recording the last one that we the last demo that I recorded. So yeah, that one was fun. I don't think I need to dive into any more.
I was gonna say I don't think I'm gonna bring up any old photos of myself doing anything from previous attempts. I'll leave that there. I appreciate you jumping on the grenade and taking one for the
and
team.
then all right. Oh wait, that's all fuzzy. I was gonna show one
Yeah,
more. Me
said
and my
there's
brother.
no-
I was gonna give a shout out to my brother Ivory Holsters, who does custom gun holsters. The true Royce wears leather. Funny you should say that. But actually, my leather jacket that was designed in the show. All right, one more so you guys can make funny. This is me and my oldest daughter at the park. And that is the leather jacket. That is the leather jacket. So, yep, that was 9 years ago. So, yep. All right. No more pictures of me. Jose Hernandez he's just, okay, that's cute. My wife she was learning how to walk at the time. My wife actually has a picture of us both walking away like into the sun. Like it looks really cool. So, but I won't. But yes, I do wear leather. I've got leather boots on right now. The leather jacket is not here though, because the leather jacket gets a little toasty. Gentlemen, we're out of a get. What do we do? What do we do right now?
Well, I could talk a little bit about Anvil.
Good.
So I think I might do that. Mainly that, let me drop a link real quick, that submissions are open right now. So, if you guys have something, and I'm also especially looking for artists and as well as authors and comics and reviews. So
give me your stories.
yes. So if you're an artist and you want to send in your portfolio and rates and lead times and all that jazz, I will throw you into the mix and try to do my best to hook you up with something. So it's been a real good time, and already we've got a bunch of great submissions and got some very cool things in the works. One thing from a previous guest here that I think everybody's going to be really stoked whenever they see it. So
Yes.
The fuck? Why don't I know about this?
I'll show you.
It's
I'll
a
send you some-
secret.
Yeah, it's a bit of a secret project.
Dude, I love how you guys are like my co-host, and you're just like, no, it's a secret project. And I'm like, wait, I don't even know
Well,
about this.
we discussed it during our weekly meeting.
Yep.
The one we did
yeah.
3 months ago. 3 months ago.
now. Maybe
3.5,
coming up on
almost
5,
4.
just
Yeah.
about.
It's been a while. We should
yeah.
really do another weekly meeting. Like
Maybe
we do
like
our biannual weekly meeting.
I was gonna say it's not quite 6 months yet, so let's not get too eager about
Well,
this.
wait, didn't we have a phone call? Was that the meeting?
I don't remember. I'm gonna say that must have been.
I know
the
you
meeting.
and I had a phone call, but it's been a long time since the
There
three
we
of us
go.
really got to
Yeah.
sit down and talk.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, no, we haven't sat down and talked. JVP for $5 says, I won't keep secrets from you, Royce. Thank you.
That is the appropriate response. Thank you with great concern.
Philbo Baggins, the annual weekly meeting.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's
This is how Iron
true.
Age Knights rolls.
We believed it at one point too. We were like, no, we're totally gonna do it. And
Never happened.
We tried. We tried it for a while.
dude, half
It
the time-
doesn't count if we have one meeting and then go months without. It doesn't count as trying.
No,
Trying
that
is
counts. It
Trying is
counts.
like 2 or 3 meetings, and then
we
fizzling
tried.
out.
We've been trying our asses off to make it a weekly meeting.
Have you never heard that before?
No, I've never heard.
Really?
That one. I've heard work your ass off and so on and so forth, but
Yeah.
that's
Trying my ass off. Trying my ass off to. I just dropped stuff. Oh, good
I always thought it was
Lord.
strange. Because why would you want to do anything to the point where your ass falls off?
I mean,
It depends on how big it is, but there's careful. We might get into big and shaming.
Kinda sus.
God. You know what I did say that we should do? Hopefully it doesn't get a copyright claim on the channel. It shouldn't. Not for this show. What we should do is we should listen to the track that 365 Infantry put together with Mr. JVP Music. Are you guys down with that?
Absolutely. Yes, 100%. Let's do it.
All right. Why
I
aren't
listened to it earlier, but I'm happy to listen to it again.
I also listened to it earlier. But has the chat listened to it? Because this is absolutely fantastic. Chat, so you want to see what A Drink with Crazy, what that community is doing over on Gilded and how everybody is networking together? You want to see how fantastic the community is? Well, this is the community that we're building, people who are creating stuff like this. So here we go.
Big wind up.
This is my favorite part. JVP, was that a phaser? Okay, I see. Okay. Launch the wig. No. No. I don't do the head banging. Not unless I'm actually playing. That's a killer track, man. That is a killer track. Oh.
Yeah, I'm ready to hear
All
the whole
the
thing.
influences in that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and every time here's a weird part too, is every time I hear it, I hear something a little bit different. Like I've heard, like the first few times I heard it, like especially when they put the organ in there, I was like, okay, I'm getting Judas Priest vibes, and they did like the organ thing, and I was like, okay, now there's a little bit of Kansas vibes. Now I was listening to it, and I was just like, well, wait a minute. Now I get like some Bad Company vibes in there. Like every time I listen to it, it is just straight 70s and 80s rock, and I fucking love it, man. I love it. So,
Yeah, make that guitar sing, man.
oh, dude, it's so good. I figured I'd show that because, well, honestly, that's what we're here for. We're here to show off the fantastic work that people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, it amazes me how many different things Jake Calta and JVP have their hands on right now. Both of them have been doing all sorts of stuff.
It must be nice to not have all of the children's. It's like, oh, what are you doing tomorrow? You working on stuff? Yeah, working on a chicken run in the rain. It's gonna be awesome.
Well, I think that's more, about the chicks, not the kids as much. But
It's the wife's issue. That's
okay,
right. It's not the
okay.
kid. Yeah, the wife. It's like, hey, you should do these things, and I'm like, well, I do have a soft spot for big titty goth girls, and you happen to marry me, so I have an extra big soft spot for you. So yes, I will take care of chickens now. Damn it. Jose Hernandez question for y'all. Favorite foreign heavy metal song? Mine is Hoo-ah Mongolian metal song. That has gotten huge lately. Foreign heavy metal.
I don't know. I have always kind of preferred the metal that I can't. No, maybe this is heresy, but I prefer the metal where I don't understand the words because I've always found like I'm always torn about the vocals on metal. Sometimes they're good, but I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me as much. And so whenever there's no vocals that I can actually understand, I just my brain just turns off and I don't listen to anything. You know what I mean? It just becomes part of the music.
Sorry, Jatsu in the Rumble chat just said something, and I can't. I was gonna make a joke, and I was like, maybe I should.
Maybe not.
I was like, maybe I shouldn't make that joke. Foreign heavy metal band, dude. I don't know. God. I don't know. I listen to heavy metal sparingly. Like I like songs here and there, but that's kind of how I am with every genre. Like I don't get like sucked into one genre. I listen to a little bit of everything here and there across like many different genres. Like I have people that come over for barbecues and they're like, "Dude, your playlist is fucked." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "We just went from 1940s to like Tupac." I'm like, "And?" What's wrong with that? I don't know. You say foreign heavy metal, and the only band in my head right now is freaking Rammstein. That's because all I can hear is "Du hast." That's the only thing I can think of right now. Judas Priest is 80s metal. My heavy metal is very, very different. My heavy metal is
it depends on what you consider heavy metal.
Yeah, I know that there's like specific definitions of these things and so on and so forth.
It's very mutable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
well, I
really
mean, at
a
one
metal
point,
guy myself.
I mean, you get into thrash metal, if you're going to talk about metal, I mean, there's so many different subgenres. It's part of the reason I hate subgenres, but
black, yeah.
You've got gothic, black, death metal, prog metal, fuck prog metal. That's too much math for my brain to want to do. If you guys are musicians, I hate prog rock. Like most prog rock pisses me off because all I'm doing is just trying to figure out the fuck timing they're in. It's always some prick version of like 7.5 by 21. I'm like, you can't even do that. That's not even a musical thing. And they're like, no, but we did it. And I'm like, fucking
hipsters.
And here's the problem is sometimes it sounds really, really freaking good. Like sometimes it sounds really good. Other times it's just like, I'm done. I don't care anymore. I'm done.
Yeah, so. My stepfather is a lifelong musician, former music teacher, and small time. He played local clubs and some conventions and stuff. But I play music for him specifically to see his reaction. Like modern stuff, some things that.
Oh, so you're evil. I got it.
Yeah, I know he's never heard it. I play it just so I can watch him. You can see in his eyes when he's trying to figure out the time, and he's like,
"Okay, Dream Theater is a different story. Dream Theater is a different story. However, if we're gonna get into stuff like that, don't forget about Symphony X. Symphony X is their album, The Odyssey. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, if you're gonna go with that sort of thing, I was a big fan of Vast when it was out there in the popular circuit.
Okay.
It stands for Visual Audio Sensory Theater.
No, I've heard of them. Heard of, not listened to. Very big difference there.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I've heard of a lot of bands, but there's millions of musicians out there. Yep. Jose Hernandez, making your father listen to modern music is the kind of torture I wish I could inflict on my dad. Oh God.
It's hilarious because he
Oh.
tries to figure out instruments when there are no instruments.
Like, Dad, it's a computer. What? No, it's not a computer. No. Yeah, there's so much music that I used to listen to.
I shared some of my
Oh, God.
taste in the Evelyn music.
Ow. I yawned. Damn it. I'm going to bitch out early tonight, probably.
Quit being a wussy, Royce.
I was gonna say we can go to. I was gonna say, are we caught up on super chats and all that?
Yeah, we're caught up on super chats. There's not a
Oh
bunch
my
of super
goodness!
chats. I know there's
Yeah.
not a ton of super
Yeah,
chats.
where's
Well, there
Pokemon?
are two from the Ultimate
Yeah.
Kahuna that I could read.
We are missing the Kikomon drunken super chats tonight.
See,
Yeah.
he is in business trip. I don't know if I should say that on air, but anyway, he is currently in a business trip. Yes.
Herman, take over. You're drunk.
Oh God. The Ultimate Kahuna for $2 says, Roy, stop adjusting your pants. LOL. Oh God.
What?
The Ultimate Kahuna for $5 says, so Mike, you also love motorcycles. I do adventure riding myself. And oh God, yes, but he bowed out a little early. I was not expecting him to bow out at the 1 hour mark. But I mean, obviously it's a long show. So I'm just really sad that I missed it. Herman B100, the Lore Forge, $5 says, Air Supply's greatest hits does not qualify as metal, Royce. The fuck is Air Supply?
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Is that
I
some
know.
old people shit?
Kind of, yeah. I know what he's talking about. That's why I laughed.
Like, can you get something in this like remotely close to the century that I was born in? Or are you gonna go to
He's
century?
doing the best he can. He's doing.
He's
the best
trying.
he can.
He's trying.
It's Herman.
I know. Yeah, like I feel like I'm getting to that age where I'm just like, oh, music was better when I was younger. 'Cause, like I feel like I'm just getting there.
No, I
But-
think like 21-year-olds can say music was better when they were younger. It's progressively gone down very fast.
Well, it's so funny because all of the things that like my kids want to listen to, well, not all, but a lot are songs from when I was a kid. Dad, do you know this song? Yes, I do. Dad, you know this song? Yeah, I was like 10 when this song came out. How old is it? We're not talking about that, kid. We're not. You don't need to attack daddy like that.
I make playlists for all of my rating projects and listen to them rather frequently because, you know, every time I get a chance to sit down, I write something. So I'm constantly playing them to keep the inspiration flowing. And my daughter picks up on it and she's like, what band is this? And then she starts listening to their albums and she's like, I like this song. Have you heard of it? I'm like, yes, I've heard of it. Hence why I have that other song by that same band in my playlist, child.
Yeah, no, I remember listening. My dad and I years ago, and like he had what is it, Sirius Radio or whatever, and we would just listen to the oldies station, and it was the Casey Kasem top 40 countdowns, and they would just do that every day, and it was just the top 40 like Casey Kasem stuff, man. And I got introduced to so many.
Wow, Scoob! Here's the latest hits from the 1950s.
like Soing Scoob. Oh god, Casey Kasem, man, that poor man. He
Iconic
had
voice.
a rough go there at the end. Oh,
But that's a legacy that won't ever die.
Massive Panda. No, he says yes. He's yes, sweetie. I know. Hit Me Baby One More Time by Britney Spears. My dude, my second daughter, third kid. Like we could not get away. What the fuck is that song? It's by the Backstreet Boys. It's I Want It That Way. Oh, dude, like that. Like I should not have introduced her to boy bands. Oh, dude,
Yeah,
and
why
then
would you do that?
because why the fuck not?
Well,
But it's funny because I watch my kids with some of the artists that I grew up with, and some, you know, and I'm like, you know what? It tells me that there's Chow Tzus tell me why. Tell me why. Right. But
That's what everybody says.
yeah, right. But it's one of those things as I look at my kids and their reaction is similar to the reaction of like I never understood when I was a kid. Like I mean, Elvis is, you know, popular guy, got some good songs. I never understood how like just like women would just fawn over him like back in the day. I didn't get it, right? My daughter, my oldest, had a tablet on and we were just trying to get her to calm down, and I listen to everything. And so I put on the music video for Jailhouse Rock and a couple other music videos by Elvis, and my oldest just glued like nothing else in the world existed. And she all of a sudden, because she's a baby and she's still wearing her diaper, and all of a sudden her little butt started to bounce and she started to dance, and like I got it. Like I was like, I finally understood like what my mom was saying. She's like, no, you don't understand Elvis. And it wasn't until I saw my kid just lose her. I mean, inconsolable. If she heard Elvis, the world was better. The world was just, it was better. And I was like, holy crap. Like I never got it.
Thank you very much.
Right. And some people were like, yeah, but what Elvis do you like better? Skinny Elvis, fat Elvis? And I'm just like, oh.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I still listen to Elvis. He's on my regular playlist. That and then is it her last name is Thornton. She did the original Hound Dog.
I know who you're talking about.
Is it Big Mama Thornton? No, it's not Big Mama Thornton. It's God, I cannot remember. But anyway, dude, old school blues and Creole. Oh, you want to hear where rock and roll originated? You know, it's kind of like rap music. White people stole it. I'm not wrong. Especially back in them days. Oh my God, that dude, music history is something that's really, really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now talk about anime music. No. Heavily music. Don't introduce her to Korean boy bands. She'll be obsessed with Asians. Don't let her pollute your bloodline. What the fuck?
I'm not so sure about that last part, but I agree with the don't introduce her.
Yeah, like I'm not so sure about like the whole like bloodline thing, dude. I mean, I'm like a Heinz 57 blend off a whole bunch of stuff. Oh God.
K-pop bands.
I am not going to read that on air. Jose Hernandez. Holy fuck.
If he's
Chaozu.
not read it on air, that's bad.
Chaozu over in the Rumble chat. It's pretty bad. Chaozu over in the Rumble chat. Let's see if I can do this one right. He goes, Chala, head chala. You guys know how to finish that one? Oh, you bastards, you suck.
I'm just still wondering if mayonnaise is an instrument. Maybe I was away when we covered that, but
look into the song Black Betty, a very interesting track. Yes, Black Betty. I know about. Yeah, Black Betty. Opium.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Opium. That's
I like the
Betty.
Tosh.0 version the best.
Oh no! Oh, you watch Tosh? Oh my God!
Back in the day, yeah.
Oh, one of those. I didn't even like it back then. Damn it! And her and P. Hunter got that song stuck in my head again. I hate you. Oh, good Lord. Well, gentlemen, we can keep going for another an hour and 15 minutes, or we can call it early this evening if you'd like to. So we're all caught up with the chat.
I'm gonna just go watch a movie. I'm gonna like. I get an hour to do something.
I know. I might backstage chat with Mr. Daniel P. Riley and pull up some of my notes and be like, "Hey, Daniel, here's where I'm at," and like try to try to get like that co-host discount on like something. His assistant.
Oh, Herman wants us to keep going, so
The co-host
I think I'm
will-
pretty set on us wrapping it up here in the next 15.
I don't disagree. Keep going. I'm having too much fun. I don't know what to do though. It's so confusing.
Well,
I
we could
was gonna
certainly
save
have.
it for later, but if you want to take a look at the new website, it's
Yeah, I was gonna say we should
Ooh.
take a look at Whimsyland for sure.
Oh yeah, no, let's do that. Let's do that. Take a look at Whimsyland real quick. If you guys get me a link or somebody give me a
it's
link.
literally whimsyland.org.
Too much wig is bad for you. Oh God. You know the one thing nobody talked about was Green Grass and High Tides by the Outlaws. You guys are uncultured as fuck. Green grass and high tides forever. Such a good song. I don't. Am I supposed to pull up the link myself? What's going on here?
Yes, you're supposed to pull up the link yourself. I'm drunk.
Are you drunk already? We're not even there.
I started early.
Whimsyland.org or .com?
.org.
.org.
Actually, I started when Herman posted on Twitter that he was already drunk. I was like, well, shit. I
Oh
should
no,
jump.
you were pre-gaming. Oh God.
Me and my 21-year-old daughter.
Oh God. Pre-gaming. Whimsyland literary coaching. Take your story from possible to published. That is a great fucking catchphrase.
Very nice.
That is fantastic.
I can take all the credit. I had some help with the design and a lot of the work. We workshopped it, me and the guy that helped me design the website.
That's awesome. Is your dream to be a published writer? Most writers won't take the leap. Their stories gather dust, unfinished, unpublished, unread. Whatever it might be, lack of confidence, inconsistency, writer's block, fear
Doesn't exist.
of rejection. They
You
let
don't
their
tell them that
stories
now.
pile, right? They pile up along with years of regret. Will that be you? Or will you take the leap? Will you make it real? With literary coaching, you will dust off that first draft and get it ready for publication. Learn to write consistently every day. Never deal with writer's block. Again, stop redoing your first chapter because you hate it and get to the meat of the plot. Start believing that you can write your story, complete your manuscript, instead of adding it to 10 others that you haven't been able to finish. Translate what you have in your head into words on the page. Keep the story from sprawling out beyond control and reach a satisfying end. Learn.
That one.
What's up?
I said Royce knows that one. That's what we talked about.
See, don't judge me. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Should I read the rest in Roger's voice? No, I won't. I won't read the rest in Roger's voice. I love that voice. I make my wife laugh every time I do Roger's voice. It's great. Learn to do research so you can stop rewriting pivotal scenes because you failed to find out how something as simple as fireworks. Learn how to move seamlessly between exposition into deep point of view for your characters. Learn the difference between first person, third person limited, and omniscient POV, and which is best for your story. Learn how to
The
feel
big
good
struggle.
about your sentences instead of questioning every word. And most important, get your stories into readers' hands. Sign up today.
You'll find that button all throughout.
See, it's a very big orange button. It's very big. It's kind of like the button on YouTube.
It's where I took the cue from.
Right.
There you go.
Dude, so great, man. That is absolutely fantastic.
Yep.
And I love the feel to the nods to the classic literature that you're doing here.
That was the idea.
That is well done. I love
In time.
I love the amount of psychological warfare that you are doing to try to get people to sign. No, it's wonderful. I love it. It's
No, this is good. I mean,
this is
it's
great.
and I love all of the beautiful consistency to the site. It's very
The Raven.
it's a fitting site to match your services, shall we say?
Yep.
It does
My whole
match
aesthetic,
you.
man. Yep. It's my whole aesthetic wrapped up into a website.
Now,
This is great.
yeah. Now, hopefully, I was gonna say now I don't have to feel bad about roasting your old site.
Yeah.
It's all water under the bridge now.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember
No.
the old site. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I don't remember the old site.
No, it's
I've been
fine.
there. I've
Yeah,
just
the old site, I made it as best as I could, which was not great. I do not have any real skills when it comes to web design. That's why I worked with somebody to get this to what it is.
Mhm.
good.
You know, I'm a text person that can help you write incredible things. I have no web design skills whatsoever.
Web design is a different beast in and of itself, though,
Yep.
and it's
And that's going to show because I will be doing some landing pages for the book series. Then they're not going to be anywhere near as good as that main page is, but they'll serve their purpose.
Chaozu says, I want to attempt to edit my stuff before sending it just to see how many mistakes I make when trying.
It's always good to learn.
The path to success is paved in failure, guys.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I try to communicate as best as possible with everybody that wants to create something is that, yes, you can correct errors to a certain point, but you love your project. And when you love your project, it is a blind spot. You need other people's eyes on it. Someone else has to look at it because they will find the things that you don't quite notice.
No, and that is very true. And that is true with a lot of different things. I mean, it's one of my most recent experiences with that is I love going bowling, right? That's my thing. I grew up in a bowling alley. It was a family thing when I was a kid, still do it as an adult. Couldn't figure out what the hell I was doing wrong. Couldn't figure out why my scores weren't where they used to be. I asked for help from one of the better bowlers on the league. And he's like, oh, here. He's like, you're fucking up with your hand. And I'm like, what? But it took that outside. And all of a sudden, I start throwing higher scores again, getting back up to where I used to be. And and I was like, no, I thought I was doing it right. And I just couldn't. But no, sometimes it takes that outside look to go, no, you're doing this thing wrong. But no, I really that. And it's literally everywhere. I bounced an idea off of Daniel the other day for a closing statement on this video essay that I'm working on, which I've been working on every night of the week, writing down, polling information, some of you guys saw the Twitter post I made yesterday, and you guys were like, what the fuck? But I even talked with Daniel, and he's like, honestly, he goes, I think you got a really good, solid idea. He goes, but your closing statement, it didn't punch, dude. He's like, I'm sorry. Your closing statement, he's like, everything's a good idea, but that closing statement needs work. It didn't punch. It didn't hit the way that I know that you can deliver a closing statement. And I was like, wow, fuck, okay. And it made me think about it, So that's what he can do for you.
Yep. And the interesting thing, and I put it in the website further down, the interesting thing about it is that most people don't realize, even people that are getting into creating their own works, publishing, that sort of thing, most people don't really think about the fact that the greats that we know of our time and even times past all had mentors, coaches, and guides.
Mm-hmm.
They had people that were there working with them, either teaching them how to do a specific thing or just helping them refine it into the thing that you love so much. It didn't just fall out of their brain perfect like Athena out of Zeus. It had to be worked on, and it has to be worked on by multiple people. And I love the concept of beta readers. I don't use them personally myself, but outside of Laureate anyways, but that's a totally different matter. But a professional editor, a professional coach is where you're going to find the best feedback. Mm-hmm. So you can go to friends and family. They kind of have a blind spot too, because they're your friend. They're going to favorably look at you and look at what you produce.
I would say this to a point with the friends thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like, for instance, and this is the friend that you want to look at. You know that friend that looks at you and says to you very seriously, "Hey, you're kind of a fuck up in this area of your life. Do you want to get your act together there?" Like that guy.
That guy's like, the one you want to listen to.
Huh?
That guy's the one you want to listen to.
Yeah, that's the guy you want to read your book, because that's the guy that's going to go, dude, no. Like, it's part of the reason. Like, I have friends in my life that push me to be better than I am, right? And like, so don't go to the one friend that you're like, oh, dude, I'm sure you're going to love this. Go to the one friend and be like, all right, I know you're going to tear it apart. Hit me. What you got? Go to that guy, go to the people in your life who are most critical of you, right? Sometimes there are people who are overly critical, but honestly, if you don't like what I've always said, if somebody's criticizing you, take what you like and leave what you don't.
I say the same thing.
It's not that hard.
Those who've worked with me know my notes on their manuscripts are never, this is bad. My note on the manuscript is, this doesn't work. I suggest trying this. Ultimately, it's your choice.
Yeah.
I can give suggestions and advice, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. It is your passion. I'm just going to try and help you make it the best damn thing it can be.
Raven Nevermore, what was the Rings of Power line? Give it to me. Give it to me. What? Oh, God.
I have no idea.
I don't know either.
All I heard was Rings of Power and immediately went, nope, don't need to listen to that.
Yeah.
Well, it did get there. No, I remember. Sorry, I was like, I thought you were saying like Lord of the Rings. For some reason, my brain heard Lord of the Rings, and all of a sudden I heard, give it to us. Chips. Wow, that was really bad. Gotta have to work on my golem.
You are not.
I don't know if you need to work on it, but
actually, no. I used to be really, 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 really close, like really close. But I also used to practice it relentlessly, so I don't really do that anymore. Now I just do voices for fun, like I did back then, but like less serious fun. Wait, Richard, good sir. Do you have anything that you would like to say? I'm really glad that we got to take a look at your website. You're shilling more, Daniel. You must be getting ready for an ultimate shill. Very, very
He's powering
soon.
up.
Right? Like Dragon Ball. Ladies and gentlemen, I need Mr. Daniel P. Riley's face on a Dragon Ball Z character. He is powering up, and every week he needs to transform into a new version of Super Saiyan. He's just going to say, ah! We can start I can start every single. That's awesome. You guys better put his face on like. Wait, do you want to be like Goku or Vegeta or like Gohan? Who would you be?
Go wild, chat.
Oh no. Oh,
have fun.
Don't tell the chat that now. Now you're gonna get put on female Broly.
Don't care.
Oh God.
It's all for the fun.
Richard, you know how we're afraid of the chat? Daniel is not.
I embrace
like
the
a
chat.
Cautious. Yeah.
It's not really a fear. It's just like one of those, like, I just don't want to be touched by them.
Yeah.
I love the chat.
I know. You hang out with them.
Because secretly, I'm an agent of chaos.
Oh, God. Oh, the line is "Give me the meat and give it to me raw." Well, that's heard that line, but not from the show you're talking about.
Yeah, usually that's accompanied by a bum.
There was music? I don't think I've seen that one. Oh, I'm sorry. Wow, we're way the fuck off the rails. Richard, I'm sorry. I don't know why you put up with us.
I told you I've been drinking.
I wonder myself some nights.
It's fine. It's fine. You can keep wondering. Hey, as long as you keep showing up, man, that's on you. That's a you thing. Well, unless you get the work thing that's coming up potentially. Is that gonna?
Yeah, it shouldn't impact next Friday, but it might. And if it does, it's probably going to be more like I'm just sleeping rather than you know what I mean, catching up on things. But yeah, we'll see.
Gotcha. All right, well,
I'm gonna shill Anvil one more time.
Do it.
Shill the link for issue number 2. There we go. Dropped links. Check it out, guys. Go do the thing. And we're still in demand. Issue number 1 is still in demand for a bit longer. So.
we backed it on the last day. We were able to back it on the last day. We just things are coming up, man. Things are coming up with especially raising your own animals and stuff like that. Even though it's just chickens, like it's but we were able to back on the last day, and
I greatly appreciate it, sir.
Yeah, my wife and I, we went back and forth about like reminding each other. She's like, "Hey, we still need to back." My wife was like, "Hey, we need to back Richard," and I was like, "Yeah, I know. Like, well, let's take care of bills and stuff." And I'm like, "Okay," and then other stuff came up with the kiddos, but yeah, no,
I was super stoked to make it across the 500 mark on backers, and yeah, it's awesome. I'm really looking forward to getting this thing cranked out.
Ass on that crowdfund.
Yeah, I'm blown away. I'm really looking forward to
$21,000, almost 21,000.
I think it's up to
almost.
It's above 22. It's above 22.
Oh shit!
It's above 22 now. Nice.
Yeah. And on some good news, Indiegogo is apparently, like they said, it can take up to like 15 days or whatever, but it's not going to take that long. So I'm going to, while we're getting the draft of the magazine done, I'm going to go to the printer and get all the posters and the prints and all these other things knocked out so that I can have that done. So that'll be ready and waiting for whenever the final the final magazine print run is ready to go. We don't have to worry about that. And the dice are coming along. I think the dice are going to make it in time. So
I wanted to get the fucking dice, and
you'll get the dice. You'll get
no, stop it.
I'm going to. So
fuck you, bastard. No, they're already.
I've got your address now.
Richard.
I was going to say I've got your address now. So
fuck.
Richard, you got to send it to me because I have to send him stuff. And he won't give it to me.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I will.
There are people who have my address that I did not give them my address, and I was like, wait, wait.
At least I did it where you were sitting instead of behind your back.
I was going to say, Iron Age Media now has a P.O. box. So if anybody wants to send stuff in,
awesome.
I do have that. It's on the Gilded. If you want, I'm not going to broadcast it to everybody, but
I have been meaning.
Want to send me something, like a book or a poster or something like that. Right now, I'm trying to put books that people have sent me for free back there, so they get some free advertising and whatnot, and not free advertising, but get some advertising in exchange for it. And I'm going to probably start doing some giveaways on stuff eventually. But yeah, anyway, that's just one little thing, and I have not really had time to think much more about it than that. But
let's see, thinking with everything going on gets much harder. Richard, Ram has a question. Ram. Oh, and I did not do this earlier because we were in the middle of conversation. Ram, what's going on, Ram? one of the OG homies of the channel. On his question, does anyone ever call you Dick as a nickname?
No, people always ask that, and then they start, and they just stop after a while, inevitably.
Inevitably.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So-
when they wake up underground, buried alive, and they don't know how they got there.
Well, usually they stop of their own volition, but I'm not saying something like that's never happened. It's just
I'm not going there on live stream.
All right.
I'll tell you
I'm gonna-
about it after the show.
All right. I got 3 things I got to shill. I got 3 things that I'm going to shill this week.
Yeah.
A lot of times I don't show because it's my channel, but there are 3 things that I'm going to show. 1, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central, we return to Star Shatter, the fantastic tabletop RPG that is being hosted by our fantastic writer Black Knight. It's based in his universe. I play an alien space captain with my merry band of miscreants, and we are trying to save a town from some evil pirate slavers. Have a blast. I sit there and I talk in an Irish accent just about all night. So if is that something
Not
that
an
you'd like?
Irish accent.
Huh?
It's not an Irish accent.
It's pretty close. Actually, depending on where in Ireland they're from, I've noticed it's different. But anyway, and that is from people that I've talked with from Ireland. They're like, it does change depending on where they're from. Interesting. But anyway, but I do that, and then also Sunday coffee. That's where I go and I read your comments from all of the videos that I did.
Should be able to show up for that one finally.
Oh, fantastic. So that is going to be fantastic. 11 a.m. Central on Sundays. The third thing that I'm going to shill. Guys, I am working on a video. And this is a style of video that I've been wanting to do for a while. And doing videos like this, I really, really want to push for 2 reasons. One, because it's my passion. I am genuinely excited for. It's going to be a video around, it is the Dr. Stone Civilization vid. And it's the way that I'm going to go about it, though, is going to be a little bit different. And it's going to be a little bit more put together. I don't script everything. I do have some lines that are going to be scripted to help keep me on topic. But man, these are the style of videos that I've wanted to do forever. Issue is it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of research, and it pulls away from my ability to actually do consistent content on the channel. I actually had nights where I could have edited and put out more clips from Iron Age nights, but I was researching and reading articles and going over papers and finding statistics and stats and things like that in order to do for this video. I am unbelievably excited to do this video. I have not begun recording. I'm hoping to start recording it tomorrow. And I hope that I will have at least about 10 hours to prep all of it, because I think it's going to take about 10 hours to put everything together from start to finish. And hopefully I will have it out. I'm hoping for a Tuesday release. And I will set aside about 10 to 20 minutes of time to actually get a video prepared for Monday. But this is the type of video that I want to do. Think of like a shorter version of what Mahler does instead of doing like an hour long. Actually, if you guys know the channel, the Foundation for Economic Education, and what they do, it's similar in vein to that. And I've wanted to do it for a long time, and I really hope that you guys enjoy it. And on top of that, it is the one video that I'm going to say, if you guys like the video, when it drops, I need everybody to share it to every social media that they're on, and really push it out there, because one, Dr. Stone just, it grabbed my attention in a way that a lot of shows have not in the past. And 2, I am taking a leap of faith with a different style of content, something that I've thought about for a very long time. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that video. And
Looking forward to it.
that being said, the music started. can't stop it once it's started, guys.
It's over already.
I know. Oh my god.
Well, at least
Gosh,
you
we're
remember
like
to
a
use
2-pump chump tonight. What the hell? Wait, what?
Because y'all are wusses.
You're a wuss. Ram says, hell yeah, white man. Oh, Kelsey Gearhead Mike, I know. Jonathan Resignal. Back on, everyone.
Oh no.
Jotsu. Daniel P. Yajirobe.
Yeah, fine.
Oh,
Go
keep crushing
crazy,
it, I.
chat.
Oh man, dude, that video, like, it's big, dude. It's there's a lot of information in it that I gotta bounce around. If I do it effectively, could be shorter than 20 minutes. Who knows?
Takes as long as it takes.
This is true. Good night, Guilty Gearhead. Over on the Rumble chat, thank you. Everybody who's joined over on Rumble. Wow, I'm getting buffering here. Oh no, buffering at the end. Oh no. Might be on your end, because it says it's good on our end, Raven Nevermore. 10K has become the culture, absolutely. Chaozu, hail! JVP, peace out!
AVP.
Philbo Baggins. I love that name. It's great. Oh, good God, man. It's a good show. It's weird getting up this early, though. Wait,
I
phrasing.
know.
Damn it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for joining us on Iron Age Nights. And we will see you all next time. Cheers, everybody.
Good
Good
night,
night.
everybody.